Hello everyone, my name is Obicha Bandichidebere, and today I have a topic I want us to talk about, or I want us to deliberate about. So I want to talk about anger management in relationship. In relationship, despite in the midst of the feelings, in the midst of emotion, in the midst of love, in the midst of caring, in the midst of that kind of feeling that I can't wait to be with this, but I can't wait to get into this relationship with this sweet girl, with this sweet young man. Look at how he's dressed, look at how beautiful, look at how handsome he is. But in the midst of that, offenses will actually come. I like sometimes I will tell the girl I'm dating, I will tell her that you know I can't promise not to make you angry, I can't promise not to offend you, but I will promise to always love you. Offense will always come, anger will always come, someone will always get on your nerves, despite how beautiful they are, despite how handsome they are. But how you manage anger is vital part of relationship. Anger management is a vital part of relationship because no matter how good the person is, at one point in time the person is going to get on your nerve and still going to make you angry. So how do you manage it? Anger must actually come in a relationship. No matter how good the person is, no matter how perfect the person is, no matter how beautiful the person is, how the person talks respectively, anger must actually come. And then let me tell you something. Most people that even get you angry in a relationship, that person really love you, and most times they get pissed off over a little thing. So how do you manage anger in relationship? So today I'll be talking about this anger management in three phases. One, the first one is I will talk about what is your position, or how do you deal with anger before conflicts escalate. That is the first phase I will deal. How do you, the first phase is before the conflict escalate. That is the first aspect I'm going to treat. How do you manage anger? How do you deal with anger before conflict escalates? That's the first phase. The second phase is how do you manage anger during the conflict? That's the second phase. How do you manage anger during the conflict? And the third phase is how do you manage anger after the conflict? How do you manage anger after the conflict? And then the fourth phase is long-time strategies of dealing with anger. Sometimes you will deal with people, or you will meet with people that are proud to say that I get angry easily. The person, they do advertise it that I do get angry. Don't get on my nerve. If I get angry, you better not meet me on my bad side. So, but today we want to deal with it because you're not comfortable with it. I bet you're not comfortable with it. You want to deal with it, but sometimes you don't know how. Sometimes you try everything humanly possible. All you can do is try to avoid anything that has to make you angry. But I sat under the tutorage of a man who believed that the best way to teach a goat not to eat yam is in the presence of yam, not in the absence. You won't always run away from anger because people will definitely get you angry, get on your nerve. Sometimes I watched a short clip of a woman who got the man so annoyed, and the man entered the vehicle trying to zoom off, had a fatal accident. I believe the man died. So the woman starts, I never meant it, I never meant it. So actions you take while you are angry, you are still responsible for it when the anger dies down. So why not control your anger and make yourself a better person? So the first phase I said I'll be treating is before anger escalates. What are you going to do? One, that is before the anger gets, before the anger comes, or before you try to react based on the anger. Number one thing you need to do is to stay calm. When you're angry, stay calm. Don't act because you overact. Stay calm. Stay calm. Don't talk. Most times, just keep quiet. Keep boiling inside. Take count. Like some people, the psychologists, or the what's it called? The people that the counselors, they will tell you that when you are angry, before you speak or before you act, count 1 to 10. Sometimes it helps. So that is what they are trying to tell you is that stay calm. Don't act immediately. Don't act immediately. It says take a few deep breaths, count to 10, or step away for a moment to collect your thoughts. Because most times at that moment you are trying to get annoyed at that moment that that argument is trying to heat up, there are so many things coming to your mind. If you try to act, you have to overreact, because it's actually coming from the place of anger. Now, the next thing you should do is identify your triggers. Identify your triggers. What and what can constitute to your anger? What and what can actually make you to be angry? That is, identify your triggers, reflect on what makes you angry, and try to address those issues before they escalate. Like, someone is trying to do something to you, and you know that that thing gets you angry. Let's say somebody is getting on your way. The person is trying to, each time you pass the person will poke you, and then you try to absorb it. That is the staying calm. So, but you don't just all stay calm. You try to absorb it. The next time the person pokes you, your anger level is coming up. So why not try to avoid that? Reflect. You understand. When you understand that that thing makes you angry, that is where the third one comes in. Because your partner might not know everything that gets you angry. Your partner might not know everything that gets on your nerve. That is where number 3 comes in. It says communicate effectively. Those anger triggers, talk about them. Like, this thing gets me angry. I don't like it when this thing happened. Or you don't have to put it the way you pushed me. I don't know. I don't like it when this thing happened. Okay, now, and the best time to communicate is after you must have stayed calm. You don't have to communicate once you talk, or when you try to correct somebody when 2 of you are angry, or when 1 of you is angry. You can't communicate effectively because you are coming from a place of anger. Like, something gets you annoyed, you're already annoyed. It's not time for you to start talking about it. Somebody does something to you, and you know that thing gets you angry. You stayed calm, you didn't act on it. After you must have stayed calm, you can call the person and say, please, sweetheart, or please, my dear, please, darling, this thing you did yesterday, I don't like it. The way you did it, it's not that it gets me angry. That time I wasn't talking, I was really boiling, but I don't want to. If I talk, I know I might take it out of context. That was why I kept quiet. So I don't like it when you do it. When you communicate like this, the person will understand. But when someone pokes you, you just walk out and say, I don't like this thing you're doing. Don't try it again. I don't really like it. That might be a communication, but it's not effective. So the 3 things you will do before the conflict escalates: number 1, stay calm. Number 2, identify your triggers. And number 3, you communicate those triggers effectively. You communicate those triggers effectively. It's not that you are communicating there so that that person will avoid you entirely, but at least we know when you say it's okay, that is actually okay. Okay, the second phase I say that we deal with it is during conflict. So what do you do to control your anger when the conflict has escalated, when the conflict is on? Number 1 is listen actively. 2 people can get angry at the same time, and they are permitted to talk at the same time. Before you know it, bottles will be broken, somebody will be slapped, somebody will be pushed, somebody will be punched. Listen actively. Why are you listening? Make an effort to understand your partner's perspective and respond thoughtfully. Make sure you understand your partner's perspective, because you can be angry over what somebody does with your own perspective. There is something you must have thought about. Maybe this person just want to do it to get on my nerve, but it might not be the case. Just listen. Let the person say the reason why he or she does that. At least in the aspect of listening, you are staying calm, because you can't be acting and be listening at the same time. Is one you will do at a point, and that point is listen actively. Listen actively and pay attention to what the person is saying. When the person must have been done talking, when you are saying yours, you are not going to be saying it from the point of anger, because at that point I believe you must have been relaxed a bit. Number 2, avoid blaming or attacking. Focus on the issue at hand rather than making personal attack. Sometimes let's say somebody pushed you, That is the cause of the problem. Now, you now talk about it that this person has been going about pushing other people. That is trying to push it away from you to other people. And sometimes, if that action or reaction or the anger from the other side is coming from you, when you listen attentively, actively, understood the point, then you have to take action or take a break if necessary. Then you don't have to blame another person by trying to say, if you wouldn't have done this thing, I wouldn't have done this particular thing. If it's not because you did this, I wouldn't have done this. No. Take care of your action first and allow the person to take his or her own blame. If you know where you are wrong, you apologize on the behalf of yourself, not trying to, because people find it very difficult to take blames. So they want to push it towards others. They want to make others feel that it's because of them that you do a particular thing, or it's because of them that you did this, it's because of them that you do this thing. So that's wrong. So you don't push blames on others. You try to see where you have gone wrong. And in doing that, the rate at which you are angry at that situation is coming down. Remember, anger or any action we take as a result of anger is what we have accumulated. So if you have accumulated listening attentively, you see that you won't react. Your first reaction towards anger will not be to attack. Do you understand? So it says, take a break if necessary. If the conflict is becoming too heated, suggest taking a break and revisiting the issue when you are both calm. Like, let's say you are arguing over a matter and this person is not ready to buy into what you're saying, and you're not ready to buy into, take a break over that issue. Remember, we are talking about anger management in relationship. We are not talking about you anger management when you go outside. This is you are talking to someone you are in a relationship with. Take a break over the matter. Okay, can you say, sweetheart, can we talk about this later? Let's talk about it now. Let's talk about, okay, please, can we just talk about it some other time? Don't agree to the fact, because when two people are arguing over a matter, nobody is ready to listen to another. But when both of you are calm, somebody can listen while the other talks, and the other can listen while the opposite is talking. So you decide to take a break when the argument has gotten to a level. That is what to do during conflict. Then there is after conflict. You people must have fought, you people must have argued, you people must have talked about it, and this has created problems, created chaos. What do you do? Because if you don't do this and allow it to linger, there will be a communication breach. And the most important thing about relationship is communication. The most important thing about relationship is communication. When there is no communication, there is no relationship. So what do you do after conflict? Number one, apologize sincerely. It's a heated conflict. You are wrong. She's wrong. He's wrong. Apologize sincerely. If you've said or done something hurtfully, apologize genuinely and make amends. Now, some people fail it at this point. They want to apologize, but in the midst of apologizing, they are still apportioning blame. I'm sorry for what I've done now. You are the one that even pushed me to do that. That's not a sincere apology. Sincere apology does not look out for where to anchor the apology on. The apology is actually coming from your heart. The apology is coming deep down from your heart. So it should be sincere. It should be straight to the point, not trying to anchor. Now, apology does not make you look inferior. Apology doesn't make you to look like you are no longer the man of the house or the woman of the house. Apology does not make you a nobody in the relationship. It actually makes you more matured in that relationship. It makes you more understandable in that relationship. When you apologize, it's strength, is not weakness. Apology is strength, is not weakness, because it takes lots of energy to apologize. So when the problem, the argument, the conflict has come and gone, and based on analysis, you see that you are wrong, you apologize. Sometimes they say that men do not apologize. They can apologize by gifting and all these things, but whichever way you want to apologize, let the apology come, and let that apology be sincere. Okay? The next one is forgive and let go. This is where we have a problem. It's actually a big problem. To forgive is okay. I've forgiven you, but letting go is now. Forgiveness is okay. I've oh, no problem. We are back together. Now, letting go is not letting your next activity come as a result of a protective measure from what the opposite sex or the opposite has done to you. Like someone did something bad or someone said a particular thing. Now, when you are trying to act towards that person, you're acting towards that person. I want to be safe so that you won't say this thing that you've said again. It means that you've not let go. You're still counting those wrongs. When you let go, your behavior should not be a reflection of what has happened before. Should not be a reflection of the anger that has come before. Or you will go to the market. Okay, maybe you got something for your for your partner, the person you are in a relationship with, and the person doesn't like that thing you bought, or maybe it was not so beautiful, it doesn't meet to his or her taste, and the person says something like that, and out of that, an argument comes up. That doesn't stop you from buying something for her next time. The communication effectively is trying to find out what he or she likes, so that when next you want to get something, there won't be an error. So that when next you want to get something, that is growth in relationship, because you should know your partner and your partner should know you. So it shouldn't be coming from an angle of what has happened. Holding on to resentment can create more harm than good. Try to forgive and move forward. The next one says, learn from the conflict. What is the learning from the conflict is reflect on what triggers the conflict. Understand, like I used an issue of getting something for your partner, and you realize that your partner didn't like that thing so much. Then there is conflict as a result of that. Learning from it doesn't mean stopping to buy something. No, it's trying to know what your partner likes and what he or she appreciates, and how you can prevent similar situations. How I've already made, as I've already used an instance, trying to know so that you can prevent something like that. Or better still, you can still go to the shopping with the person. I know along the line, sometimes you might be traveling and I saw something, I said, oh, this can be good for my fiance, or this can be good for my wife, or this can be good for my babe. So you decide to get it. And when the person sees it, the person didn't appreciate it. So when the person tells you what he or she appreciates more, it makes you to, when next you are shopping, you will get something nicer. And you are the person that they brought something for and you don't really appreciate it. There is a way to say it without getting the partner offensive, because you were in his thought or in her thought for her to get something like that for you. Okay, now the fourth phase is a long-term strategy. What's a long-term strategy? One is practice empathy and understanding. Make an effort to see things from your partner's perspective. So that is, the conflict has been resolved, and then for long-term strategy, this is someone that you have something for and you're hoping for something to come out from the relationship in future, or you two are already in marriage and you know that for better for worse. So you need to make an effort to see things from your partner's perspective, as your partner is also making effort to see things from your own perspective. So you people will have an understanding, because one might be thinking of the now issue and another might be thinking about the future issue. So when you people understand each other better, you can marry each other, and then the conflict might not come in. And when the conflict comes, you've already know what to do. The second one is develop healthy communication habit. Like I said, without communication, there is no relationship. Without communication, there is no relationship. Talk about relationship, remove communication, there is no relationship. You're only two people that have come to know each other. But communication brings about intimacy. I was discussing with somebody. I asked him, have you ever seen someone approach you and said, I want you to be my best friend? No, that doesn't happen. What happened is that it's a matter of time. When there is communication, there's relationship. As it keeps going, the person will automatically come up and say, you're my best friend. What happened? You don't ask for to be someone's best friend, and the person can ask you to be his or her best friend. What happened is that when communication comes in, as communication flows, the intimacy toughens. And when it stiffens, that is when the person can turn out to call you his or her best friend. So develop a healthy communication. Establish open and honest communication to prevent misunderstanding. Be open to communicate your feelings. Pretense in relationship will not take you anywhere. It will only create problems. It will only create conflicts in the relationship. So let there be effective communication so that conflict will be resolved effectively. So the third thing to do in the long-term strategy is cultivate a positive and supportive relationship. Foster a positive and supportive environment which can help to reduce what? Conflict. Be positive and be supportive. Your partner tells you, this is what I want to achieve. Can you improve on that or give an encouragement? Even that is not what you want. There is still a way to communicate. We are going to talk about communication skills so that you know how best to communicate with your partner, because most times we don't even know how to communicate. We want to say things. Sometimes what you want to tell somebody might be right, but the way you communicate it to the person might create a problem. So most times it's not what you want to communicate, but how you communicate determines the outcome of that communication. Okay, so know how to communicate your positive support in your relationship so that you can't be easily flared up in your relationship. Remember, every relationship is unique, and what works for one couple may not work for another. So there is no one way conflict resolution that can work in every relationship. One is that you know your partner and you know what will work best. But I tell you, violence has never been a way to solve conflict, because one violent results to another violent. So be patient, flexible, and willing to adapt to find the strategy that works best for you and your partner. And that is where you have the work to do. So find out what works for my partner. What is the better way to communicate? Responding anger for anger will only bring chaos. We only bring more conflict. We only make the relationship not work. At the point you say that this person, you're unteachable, this person, but this is something that can be sorted out peacefully. It's something that can be sorted out with effective communication. But because there is communication lacking in the relationship, that is when we keep having a conflict coming up. So trying to recap, today we talked about anger management in relationship, how to deal with anger in your relationship. So I said we talked in 4 phases. It comes in 4 phases. One is before conflict escalates, and the second one is during conflict. The third one is after conflict, and then the fourth one is long-term strategy. So I believe that with constant practice, you will get better, and you see that you that get angry easily, it can be resolved. So it's just a matter of you understanding that you get angry easily is still the solution to it, because identification of a problem is 60% solution for it. So for you to know that you get angry easily, you need this. You need to start learning, and start learning fast, because anger helps nobody. If you find this piece very interesting, why not share it with someone else, and give us a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you in the next video.